What is going Drew back again with another review. In today's video, we're going to be looking at some of the best players currently in MLB The Show 25. We are obviously using Show Zone once again to make this video happen, so shout out to them for the awesome platform. Once again, we are using Meta overall to do this. We obviously made a similar video back in May. The start of May we made a video, so we haven't made one in quite some time. So I definitely want to do an updated video for you guys, just showing you the best cards in the game right now. So let's first start with the catchers in MLB The Show 25. Obviously, a lot of great catchers in the game right now. Cal Raleigh is still the best one, 109.15 overall, which is just insane. He's definitely the best hitting catcher in the game, and I think he might stay there for quite some time. Next, we have Shane Lears, just came out in July Spotlight, obviously. So really good card. I think he's in the program because he's been a really good solid card. At number 3, we have Ted Simmons. So once again, we see the Hall of Fame guys on there. Another July Spotlight card with Salvi Perez coming at number 4. And then Will Smith rounds out the top 5 at 101.75 overall. I'm one of the all-star guys, so we're going to see a lot of those players on these lists as well. But we can kind of scroll down to a lot of their players. Shout out Hunter Gunman, that's my boy right there, making the list. But a lot of earnable catchers are on this list, which I think is very good. Well, you love to have earnable cards on here. Obviously, the Cal Raleigh to spend, I think, like $150,000 for those top 3 cards. I think it's still worth it for the quality of hitter you're getting. Those are some of the top catchers in MLB The Show 25 right now. Moving over on to first base, George Brett actually comes out as number 1. He's actually a secondary first baseman, but he's definitely the best one in the game. 113.66 overall, which is just insane. Next, we have Chase Utley, which you guys love, coming in at number 2. Once again, a phenomenal player. I think his secondary is also at first base. Jackson Profar, after his supercharge, is number 3 on this list, which is kind of funny to think about. We got Dick Allen at number 4, and then we have Rod Carew at number 5, and then Cody Bellinger would be on this list if it wasn't for that supercharge. A lot of good cards used at first base. Obviously, a lot of these are earnable cards. The Chase Utley is obviously in the XP program. George Brett was one of the newer cards that just came out. We got some of the July Spotlight cards as well. I think Nick Kurtz is the best earnable one. I think he's the easiest to get, and he's still a really solid card. So definitely something to think about when you put your next first baseman into the game. Now, moving over on to second base, once again, we see a big divide here with the switch hitters. Obviously, the switch hitters are weighed pretty heavily when it comes to this, so that's why Ketel Marte and DeVries are ranked so high. 113.50 for that Ketel Marte, just a phenomenal card. And then that DeVries is at 112.18, just phenomenal. Next, we got Willie Castro coming in. Obviously, he plays pretty much every position in this game, which is just insane, so definitely a solid player. Chase Utley once again, and then that Rod Carew coming in for the top 5. I think the best card you could earn, honestly, is that Ryan McMahon. He's super easy to get in that program. Just got to get a lot of those stars, which you can get from the Conquest, the Showdown, and the Moment, so pretty easy to get that card compared to some of the other players on this list. And we can obviously scroll down to see a lot of the more earnable cards on this list, but definitely a ton of good second basemen to use in the game. Now, moving over on the third base, we got a lot of new players on this list. Joey Bats obviously leads the way, one of the newest Legends and Flashback players, 115.28, just absolutely phenomenal. We can once again see that George Brett back on here, primary third baseman. And we do have Carlos Correa on here coming in at number 3, which is very exciting to have a third baseman Carlos Correa card. Ryan McMahon coming in at number 4, and then number 5 is that Willie Castro once again. I was actually surprised to see this Gunnar Henderson up here. I know he was a pretty good card, but I didn't expect him to shoot up that much, so he's definitely probably the easiest card to earn on this list. And he was one of the best third basemen for quite some time before the new Thread stuff came out, which is definitely exciting to see. But as we scroll down, a lot more earnable cards. Kind of crazy to think that Scott Rowland is 17th after being one of the first Legends and Flashback collections to come out, and at a time being one of the best cards in the game. But definitely a solid third baseman class we have in MLB The Show 25. Coming in at shortstop, we see a similar thing to third base as well, with DeVries coming in at number 1, just the best card in the game. Finest Jimmy Rollins is also on this list. He's one of the newer cards that we haven't seen before. Very solid player, especially he's one of the retro finest cards. There's only a couple of those in the game right now, so definitely a solid player. Once again, we have Ketel Marte, Willie Castro, and Carlos Correa back. We do have Willie Adames is also on this list, pretty high up on the shortstop category, which is exciting to see. And then we can scroll down, obviously, to a lot of the more earnable cards in the game right now. We see the first August Spotlight card with that Anthony Volpe. So definitely a solid shortstop class to get in the game right now. Moving over on to left field, once again, Ted Williams is the best left fielder in this game. 111.54 is an insane overall to have. Judge is right there with him though. 111.16 on that card. MVP Kyle Schwarber's also on this list with that Willie Castro. And then we still have June Lightning player Juan Soto on this list at 106. So definitely a lot of solid options. We still have the supercharged Jackson Profar on this list as well. But I think there's a ton of good options. Like, I really do think that Schwarber is probably the most earnable card on this list, as well with that Juan Soto, who's also really solid. But a lot of good players on this list. Eric Davis obviously just came out with that new program, so definitely a solid amount of players to earn. And moving over on to center field, we do have the best meta overall card in the game with Ken Griffey Jr. 120.66. He's currently the best in the game right now. With obviously that Carlos Beltran right behind him, he's obviously one of the best cards in the game, being the MLB collection. These two are just phenomenal, would definitely play in my outfield. And then once again, we got Ketel Marte after a significant drop-off. Then we get to 99 Cedric Mullins, who's also an interesting pickup in that new Threads collection. And then at number 5, we have Byron Buxton as the Home Run Derby card. So definitely a decent amount of options when it comes to center field on this list. But Ken Griffey Jr. by far is going to be the best card to get. And obviously, he's pretty easy to get. I actually already have 5 out of the 8 cards to get him. And I haven't even bought a single Spotlight card, just the packs I've earned. So pretty easy to get him, and I might have to spend some stubs to actually earn that card because he's just gross. So next we have right fielders coming in. Obviously, Joey Bats is going to be number 1, 114.10 on that card. Carlos Beltran is also on this list, phenomenal. With that Aaron Judge, which we've seen before. Larry Walker comes in at number 4 and 5 because he's a World Series card, so he does get the one specialty card. So he also comes in on this list, a very good World Series reward. And then we got Willie Castro rounding that out. So very solid. We see Ted Williams also on this list. A lot of earnable cards are going to be a lot further down with some of the right fielders in the game. So a lot of the guys you got to grind for, especially up here. World Series award, 2 collection rewards. Ted Williams a collection reward. Willie Castro a collection reward. And Judge is a collection reward. So a lot of collection rewards we got in right field. If you can't get World Series to get Larry Walker, then Juan Soto is going to be the best for you in right field. But a lot of good collection rewards to choose from when it comes to this position. Now moving over onto the DH, once again, a lot of the same cards we see on here. Schwarber's on here, Ketel Marte, Ken Griffey Jr., Cal Raleigh, and Ted Williams round up the top 5. I would say personally, I think Cal Raleigh is probably the best DH you're going to get. With that, Schwarber is also a solid pick. A lot of the home run derby guys are also on here because it's just hitting stats and speed, remember. So none of the fielding stats are really on here. That's why you see a lot of the cards a lot lower than they should be that we've seen in other positions. So that's why we see the home run derby cards way higher than Judge and things like that. I didn't think Cal Raleigh or the Kyle Schwarber is probably the best bet, or some of the home run derby cards if you guys don't have those. Probably the best DHs in the game in my opinion. Now moving over on to starting pitcher, it's not as high as you would actually think compared to the hitters. I mean, the best hitter is Ken Griffey Jr. at 120, so you can see a lot lower on the starting pitchers right here, as we only have 3 players above 100, which is kind of crazy. And Corbin Burns is coming in at number 1 at 102.84 overall. Right behind him, though, literally right behind him, is that Justin Verlander card at 3,500 strikeouts. Just came into the game yesterday. Absolutely phenomenal attributes on that card. Shout out to Verlander for getting that accomplishment. That's just an insane achievement. We'll see if he can continue to break records throughout this season. Coming at number 3 is going to be that Corey Kluber card. Obviously very solid as a Signature Series card. And obviously we'll see what that collection is going to look like with the Signature Series collection coming up soon. Ubaldo Jimenez is number 4, and then Hall of Fame CC Sabathia is number 5. With that Roger Clemens looking very solid at number 6. And that J.R. Richard card also pretty solid. He also came out as well with that Diamond Quest. So a lot of solid pitchers that you can use from. A lot of them also in that new Threads collection, which we'll see, especially for the relief pitchers as well. But a lot of cards came on the XP path. We see the Speedway guys on here and all those good players. Definitely a solid class for starting pitching. Now moving over on to relief pitchers on MLB The Show 25, we can see Billy Wagner is the best one at 109.83, and I'm pretty sure he's the best pitcher in the game right now when it comes to meta overall. Obviously, Duran is on here with that new Threads collection. We do have Suarez and Munoz as the 2 all-star cards on this list. And then we have Duvall to round it out at number 5 with the new Threads collection. Like I said, you're going to see a lot of those cards on here as well as we kind of scroll down, because those are some of the best pitchers and closing pitchers in the game right now. I would still say that Griffin Jack's card is very solid. I like his mix a lot. Same with Gregory Soto. I like those guys a lot. I think they have really good mixes. Obviously, that Billy Wagner card is just gross. He's definitely going to be the best card for quite some time. Definitely a lot of good relievers when it comes to this category. And the last one we have is closing pitchers, and a lot of the players are the same. As you see, the top 5 is the exact same. I think the only new card we add on here is this Joe Nathan card coming in at 15. I think everyone else is basically the same. So it's a pretty similar list that we have for a couple of these cards, because only a couple get removed and a couple get added. So basically a similar list, but you can kind of see some of the closing pitchers we have on here as well. Let's get a lot of new Threads guys and a lot of guys that you can earn, which is pretty good. That is currently the best players in MLB The Show as of right now. So a lot of good players. And once again, if you want to see this list for yourself, just go to theshowzone.gg, and then you can go to players up here and you go top 25 ranks. and then you can kind of click on the position and find all this information for yourself. Definitely a very good website, so shout out to them for putting all this together because we just love it as a community. But with that being said, who do you guys think is the best overall card that you've tried in MLB The Show 25? That Ken Griffey Jr. looks pretty good at 120 overall. I definitely might have to get him myself, but let me know in the comment section down below what is the best card you guys tried. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everyone.